Every story feels fully fleshed out, fully realized.
Yeah, and every single one has a very satisfying conclusion, too.
Yeah, for me, for the Dylan Baker storyline, I used to do that with my dad all the time. I can't tell you how many kids in school I personally got to decapitate.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
I have murdered so many people.
I mean, I was just that boring kid when I was younger, and we used to just carve like regular pumpkins.
See, I would have murdered you. Hi, Reject Nation. You don't have to wear these right away.
No, I do, because it messes up the bangs, man.
No, man. Hey, if anyone has hair that you do one thing wrong, my hair, you do like this, and then suddenly my whole hair decides to go, all right, let's win.
I'm liking the new do, though.
You do?
You got like another look here.
Yeah, I do. I got this like drug cartel Italian gangster thing going on.
There's no more appropriate look for video reaction.
No, yeah. Appreciate that, Perri. Perri Nemiroff is here today, people.
Hi.
I wanted to make sure to get her back on the channel. It's been so long. You're a horror freak, and it's Halloween time, so might as well bring you back here. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's my favorite time of year, so how could I not be in a good place right now?
Amen to that, sister. We were both in Mexico for the Nun Catacombs haunt experience.
Yeah.
Which was a total blast. We only
really cool.
bumped into each other for like 5 minutes.
I couldn't believe after all of that. I was so excited we were going to be going to Mexico together, and then you guys were in another group.
A completely
of the
different
trip.
group. But in that different group I was with, John and I got to hang out with a guy known as Dead Meat James. And James, super friendly guy. What an inspiring story this dude had. He had only been doing his channel at this point a couple months ago, like just a little over a year. Amassed well over 1 million followers. The guy is a hard worker. And I asked him in person, since we were hanging out a bunch, I asked him in person if we could do a reaction to one of his videos, and he said yes. But Perri has never seen any of his.
I'm really excited about it. I mean, I've already told you one thing that I thought this video was going to be that you're telling me I'm wrong about, so I'm curious to see what it is now.
Because he calls him kill count, and I'm sure plenty of you guys have already seen his videos. He's way bigger than this channel. This kill count video, it's more than just kill count. People get the impression it might just be, all right, just count the deaths. That's not it. We're doing one for my favorite Halloween movie, and I found out seconds before filming with Perri that's her favorite Halloween movie as well. Trick or Treat. Let's get to it.
I put the headphones on.
Yeah,
right?
now put the headphones on.
John's fancy headphones.
There we go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Trick or Treat, a Halloween-tastic 2007 movie written and directed by Michael Dougherty. Trick or Treat consists of a series of intertwining vignettes that take place on Halloween night in the fictional town of Warren Valley, Ohio, a place that just loves to get its trick or treat on. Loosely connecting the stories is the burlap-sacked, kid-sized entity Sam, who's happy to be an impassive observer until he sees the spirit of Halloween being rejected, at which point he'll step in to personally intervene. Although it doesn't have any single overarching story, Trick or Treat is a true treasure of a film, not taking itself too seriously, but also never trying to be too cool with detached irony. It's a sincere film that lovingly explores various Halloween traditions, and you know what? It's got a pretty high kill count to boot, so grab your favorite candy bar and let's get to the kills.
I wonder what my favorite one is in this movie.
What's your favorite segment?
With a grumpy robot. This lady Emma,
That's the serial killer one with the dad.
Halloween is lame. She blows out a jack-o'-lantern, despite him saying it's ancient tradition to leave them lit, and takes off her robot costume right there on the sidewalk. All this bah humbuggery attracts the attention of someone with a glossy field of vision who runs across the street towards their house. After she finishes de-roboting on the porch, Emma tells her man she wants to take down the decorations right now. Lady, are you serious? Look at your house. That's literally going to take hours. Yeah, well, you must take getting a good night's sleep too, because this is about to take you all night. But she presses on in her anti-Halloween crusade, stopping only when she sees a Jabberwocky across the street. She's just waiting to get picked up to go to dance practice so they can nail her performance at Warriors this year. No, Emma, the real threat for you is that ghost sheet. Nah, just playing. It's not a ghost. It's something inside the sheets that starts tearing at her and knocks her out to the sidewalk. It takes a bitten-off lollipop and slits her throat with it, which scares these trio of kids away. Get out of here, you bunch of clowns. Emma becomes our first kill of the movie, just 4 minutes in. And shortly thereafter, her man finds her body beneath a sheet, hung up and dismembered, and with that yummy pumpkin lolly in her mouth. The opening credits are in the style of the comic book, since Wildstorm Comics had originally planned to release a related comic series alongside the film. Although the comics were delayed, the opening still gives us.
Have you ever seen some of the Sam shorts? They're great.
And we're taken earlier that evening to a news report talking about how fucking bonkers this town goes over Halloween, like they're that place in Hocus Pocus or something. The little kid pervs on some girls in changing rooms, which is weird because he's like 6. But also, this is the kid that plays Sam, so at least you get a little kid.
Oh, I didn't know that. shit.
Girls in sexed-up Halloween costumes, also known as Halloween costumes, Danielle, Marie, and then there's Laura, younger sister to Danielle, the Sexerella over there, who's much more sexed down in a demure Little Red Riding Hood costume. Danielle invites the elven cashier to a party that night after asking when he gets off.
In about 20 minutes, actually.
Yeah, right, dude. You're working a costume shop on Halloween, brah. You ain't getting off till the vampires go to sleep. On their way to the party, after bumping into Grouchbot, Danielle tells Lori she needs to find a date because it's sad that she's a 22-year-old virgin. Wow, this really might be the town for Hocus Pocus. And Marie and Janet seem just as obsessed with getting that D since they asked these random guys loading up a news van out on dates to the party. A couple of van beers later, and this party's ready to roll. Danielle reluctantly agrees to leave Lori behind to go find her own date in the streets of this crazy Halloween party. Meanwhile, Charlie, played by that kid from Bad Santa, is walking down the street doing his best Billy Corgan impersonation. When he goes to steal some candy from an unsupervised porch, he's caught red-handed by the owner of the house.
That's my favorite story.
Yeah.
Don't waste a good lie on this.
Wilkins makes him sit down and eat his candy while he talks about carving jack-o'-lanterns and other Halloween traditions. He must be a bad storyteller because Charlie starts having a physical
I'll
reaction,
never forget
gagging
seeing
and
this for the
burping
first
and
time.
Yeah,
all
right.
sorts of disgusting sounds there. What's going on there, Chuckster? Something you forgot to do?
Always check your candy.
Yeah, I think he forgot to do that, which is why he sits there doubled over, puking up blood and or chocolate. I don't really see the joke there, but Wilkins sure is having a laugh, probably because he's the one who poisoned all that chocolate. With that, Charlie dies, slouching over into Wilkins' lap
15
for a
minutes
second
in,
kill of the
exactly.
movie. I guess that's one less kid to process paperwork for at school, right, Steven? Wilkins' corpse removal is interrupted by a knock at the door. It's a trio of trick-or-treaters, and they ask him for his jack-o'-lantern as part of a scavenger hunt. He gives it
That's
to them,
my
along
favorite
with some
part.
candy.
Yeah.
And
What's it, the
there's a cute little
school
bag-headed
bus
fellow who Wilkins
school bus
also gets
massacre,
to.
I think?
You don't know how much of a right decision that was, Steve. You don't want to get on that kid's bad side. Wilkins goes out back and uncovers a grave containing another body, but before he can heave Charlie's down into it, he gets interrupted again, this time by his son Billy, who's just yelling his goddamn lungs out about how he's done trick-or-treating. Then, the black comedy of errors, Wilkins gets interrupted yet again, now by his neighbor, old Mr. Krieg, who overhears when the other body in the grave starts screaming and moving around. Krieg walks over to the fence and hidey-ho neighbors Mr. Wilkins, asking him what the hell is going on. Wilkins is able to talk himself out of the situation and tries to silence the body for good, but gets interrupted once more by Billy, screaming about carving jack-o'-lanterns and asking to go with his dad to the parade later.
No, Daddy has a date.
Billy goes away and Wilkins seems to be in the clear.
But don't forget to open with the eyes!
Jesus, Billy, you know what? Halloween is canceled. No more Halloween for you, on account of your screaming into the night sky like that. With the coast finally clear for really reals, Wilkins takes a shovel and delivers an overhead smack to the shuffling bag, giving us a kill that cuts away immediately, but at least we get to see him watering the grave. That's nice. What's not nice is the way Wilkins is mocking his own son. He seems real friggin' annoyed with that kid, so it's troublesome when he grabs a knife and heads downstairs with him to carve the jack-o'-lantern. We don't need 2 weeks in a row with young dead Billy's kid, so get the hell out of there. Wilkins raises his knife up and brings it down at a powerful stab, but turns out Billy's not in danger after all.
I do have a
Jack-o'-lantern is
question
actually
about this
Charlie's dad.
moment.
Sorry to scare all of you.
I'll
There's
save
no
it for
fun
later.
Okay.
going
I
down
do have a
here.
question
Just
about it,
some
though.
bonding.
But don't forget to help me with the eyes.
See? Nothing to worry about here at all. Now we're back to those trick-or-treaters, Macy, Sarah, and Chip, who are trick-or-treating at another teacher's home and interrupting her swinger-looking party. Eye on the prize,
Nice.
kids. You're there for jack-o'-lanterns,
Nice.
not whatever's going on in that party. Yo, what is going on in that party?
Coach Taylor was in a hot dog costume, but fucking a pig.
Oh. They're joined by another trick-or-treater who's real shitty at supermarket sweep and only got 3 more pumpkins for him. To get enough jack-o'-lanterns for their quest, they go to this house, home of Rhonda, who they call an idiot savant. But honestly, it looks to me like she's just dope as hell at carving pumpkins. Raider turns on his charm because they gonna be needing some of that squash. Over at the town's festival of costumed fools, a lady makes out with a masked stranger in an alleyway, the start of every good love story. Their tongue tangle stops when she lifts up her hand to find out she's bleeding, like kind of a lot there, and that this dude's got fangs. Hot damn, do we got a vampire on our hands? She runs away from him and towards the parade in a very I know what you did last summer like shot, but unlike Sarah Michelle, this chick actually makes it to safety. But her victory is short-lived, since her pleading for help is rebuffed by the Grumpy Tron 9000, who mistakes her for just another drunk hoodlum with fake blood all over her body. Masked Man shows up behind her and whips his cape over her for another off-screen kill, resting her
Man,
body against the storefront
really
to
can't
look
just
like
die
she's
on
just
Halloween.
passed out. You know, like people do all the time in public streets at crazy Halloween parades. Masked Vampire Man walks off into the night, presumably to find another victim. With a wagon full of pumpkins in tow, the trick-or-treater kids are led by Macy to a cliff overlooking a rock quarry where she regales them all with a Halloween story. It's a sepia-tone tale of a bus full of 8 kids.
Sepia-tone
It's
tale?
absurd that an embarrassed parents offered to school miles out of town to keep them hidden from sight. But once upon a Halloween, the driver takes a different route, one that passes a cemetery in Sam, straight to the abandoned rock quarry that Macy and co are now standing in. Turns out the parents were sick of dealing with their dirty little secrets and paid the bus driver to kill them all. And it would have worked too if not for these meddling kids, especially this Dracula who realizes they aren't where they should should be and tries to drive the bus home on his own. He only manages to get it moving in a straight line,
That's a smart kid.
straight off the cliff, where it falls and sinks into the water below. The 8 children are killed as their masks float away along the surface of the water. They all get added to our list, although I'm not sure of their genders, while the driver is spared. He makes it out, and according to Macy, was never heard from again. Macy's plan is to leave 8 jack-o'-lanterns by the side of the lake as an offering to the kids who die. She and the other 2 alpha-most kids descend on the elevator first, and when Rhonda and Pirate Boy
Is this your
follow
favorite
her
'cause you
later,
relate
they
with
hear
her?
the first 3 kids
'Cause why?
screaming
You relate
and
with
walk
her?
their jack-o'-lanterns
I relate with her?
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm a really shitty jack-o'-lantern carver.
Because they'll protect him, then heads out and finds herself staring at a school bus half sunken in the lake. This creepy image that corroborates Macy's tale only gets
That's
worse
why.
when a hand
It's the
reaches out to
imagery
grab
in
her
this
leg.
one.
Creatures emerge from the water, and Rhonda runs back to the elevator where she finds Chip on the ground getting his guts good and Namda. After she really Velmas it up, her blind ass gets cornered by the creatures, all wet and bechained, and Rhonda falls backwards off a ledge into some water.
But it's
Knocked
not a
out as
kill
the creatures
count.
Lean over her and stare. When she comes to, she learns that the creatures were just the other kids, and that Chip wasn't even dead. Those are probably just nasty cold hot dogs around his neck. Schrader finally learns what empathy is and says that it's about time these ramblers get rambling, so they should pack it up and leave. Over by the bus, Macy kicks the last lit jack-o'-lantern nearby into the water, which immediately proves to be a mistake when they start hearing spooky noises. Sure enough, looks like we got some zombie kids on our hands who giggle as they shamble towards the 4 mean kids. During their retreat, the chains on Sarah's costume get hung up and she's dragged away by the zombie bus kids, who temporarily stop their pursuit to get their murder on. The other kids reach the elevator
maybe
where
killed.
Rhonda has locked herself inside, safe with the final lit jack-o'-lantern. She goes to let them in, then is all psych and hits the button to go up by herself, waving bye-bye to them as she ascends. The kids are cornered by the zombies and killed off screen. Their
I think
screams
Perri
and
can't
nasty
relate
wet
with her.
tearing noises
I would
fill the
not
room.
do that.
She walks away from it all completely stone-faced. Sam shows up but is happy to leave Rhonda alone, for she is true and has the Halloween spirit within her. Meanwhile, Lori's been walking around looking for a date but having no luck, which is pretty hard to believe since she's friggin'
Realize.
Danielle calls her saying she has a
Just realized her name is Lori.
but he's a little too baby oopsie daisy for her. While she's on the phone, Lori notices the masked killer from earlier staring at her, and later when she's walking to the bonfire party by herself, he pops up out of nowhere and attacks her, slamming her up against a tree and biting into her neck like a freaky vampire. Danielle and the others at the party, worried about Lori's whereabouts, scream in horror when a body in Lori's costume falls from the tree. When they check it out and lift the hood, they find that it's the masked killer, who's now gasping for breath and begging them for help. Lori shows up to the party looking much more like a little pirate wench, and she tells the rest of the ladies, that dude bit me." Maria goes over to him and takes out his fake fangs. "You're not a real vampire at all. You were never a real vampire. In fact, you're just a high school principal, Stephen freaking Wilkins. Man, you've had a busy night." Steve does have a good question, though.
Who are you people?
And then he discovers for himself. Let's see, we got a pirate, another body line there. That's cool, I guess. Oh, that's from the Lead Band, dude. And oh shit, it's a wide shot, and there are a lot of bodies here. I actually paused this and went through it a ton in slow motion. And all in all, I think there are 9 bodies here, including
Wow.
the 2 band guys, the cashier, the big baby man, and 5 others. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This number makes sense to me though, since there are also 9 girls other than Lori at this banger, and after all, they all need a date. And Lori's date is Stephen Wilkins.
That's a hard kill count to dissect.
It really is.
Yeah. Fair warning.
It's my first time, so just bear with me.
Then, to a sexy montage scored by a Marilyn Manson cover of Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, the ladies at the party
Which
strip down
House on
and
the Haunted Hill
Lori
also
straight up
uses.
unzips her back, and she and the others start tearing off their own skin.
remember that?
Yeah.
So
They become
gross.
shagadelic werewolves, baby. Do they make you horny, Steven? No, just terrified? That's cool. You'll make a tasty snack either way. As Lori feasts on Steven, Danielle howls at the moon in victory, since Lori's finally lost her were virginity. Sam sits there and watches it all, which makes me a little worried about his development. This is not for young eyes, mister. If, you even have eyes. We do another time jump to earlier in the night, when that one trio of trick-or-treaters from the opening visit a house only to get scared off by glowing eyes and growls emerging from the dark. Get out of here, you bunch of clowns.
This is
Turns
the
out it's
most
just Mr.
underrated
Creed's
movie.
pup. He
It really
hates
is.
it.
Really, I think it's
Creed
like-
hates everything
crazy
about
to
it.
know how
Up to
difficult it was for them to
including
actually
Ken.
get it
Looks like
released,
his
too.
Halloween traditions
Yeah.
involve his good buddy Jim Beam and everyone's favorite pastime of burning photographs in the fireplace. While he's busy scrooging it up and all the Halloween specials on TV, a prankster eggs his window, sending Creed to the closet to fish out a friggin' baseball.
I think this is
bat.
the
He heads out back to
scariest
go
one,
all
though.
vegan on some punk
This
Prince
story.
segment?
Yeah.
Instead, just overhears
Well, it's got
Wilkins,
that
and we get
haunted
earlier
house. You don't know
scene
what's
from a
creeping
slightly
around the
different
corner
angle.
vibe, and
He goes
it's
back
it's
inside
also
before more
like
noises
super
send him
vicious.
storming out the front door, where he finds his front yard has been covered with jack-o'-lanterns by some decorative pagan. He'll have none of that, thank you very
Decorative
much, so
pagan.
he takes a shotgun and heads upstairs to investigate more noises. In his bedroom, a pumpkin lights up and reveals a remodeling job done by Kevin Spacey's character in Seven. Bought that wallpaper at Serial Killers R Us. While Krieg is admiring the redesign, he gets stabbed in the leg. And out from under the bed comes Sam, the cute little kid with the bag over his head and adorable orange footy comfy pajamas. Looks like he's packing a candy bar full of razor blade just for Krieg. Trick or treat, motherfucker! Krieg runs away and falls down the stairs onto a whole bunch of candy and loose razor blades. So when he tries to get back up, all he manages to do is cut up his hands real bad.
I could hear him screaming on that.
Sam crawls across the ceiling, goes right over Krieg, and then drops down for a fun little grapple sesh. During the fight, Krieg pulls off Sam's bag mask to reveal a skeleton face on a pumpkin head. You know what? Still kind of cute. He's even cute as he bites into Krieg's leg for a tasty snack until Krieg recovers his shotgun and shoots Sam point blank, which sends him across the room against the door. When Krieg goes buck wild with a couple extra shots, he reveals pumpkin-y innards. Make yourself a little Sam pie. Sam recovers and remasks himself, and out of his trick-or-treating sack grabs a bright orange pumpkin lolly that he bites into a weapon. He raises the candy up high to bring it down on Krieg, but we get another fake-out stab when he just pierces a candy bar instead. What, that's all you wanted? Oh, Sam, you're not you when you're hungry. His sweet tooth safe Sam leaves, closing the door behind him with some Halloween magic. A close-up on those burning pictures reveals that the reason Krieg hates this damn holiday so much is because he was the bus driver from the Rock Quarry story. Later on, Krieg gets a visit from three little
really
pigs,
changed.
and damaged as he may be, he complies with the sacred laws of Halloween and gives them all some candy. With the spirit of Halloween restored, the movie wraps up its disparate storylines, showing an orphaned but cheerful Billy Wilkins dressed up like his dad and handing out candy, the last Quarry jack-o'-lantern being pulled in a wagon by Rhonda, and the weregals heading home in a mood of elation. Sam watches over it all, keeping an eye on Krieg until something else catches his eye. One grouchy fucking robot lady blows out her jack-o'-lantern. You know what to do, Sam. Go enforce those Halloween laws. Just when you think it's all over, Krieg gets one final knock at the door. Looks like it's those meddling kids from the school bus. Ready or not, here they kill. Final Kill the movie is done in quick flashes of a graphic novel death as Mr. Krieg gets his comeuppance from the kids he killed so long ago. And thus ends our Halloween tale, where lessons were learned and kills were counted. How many kills? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
Nice touch.
27 people were killed in Trick or Treat, maybe.
Wow.
Real hard to tell around that bonfire. Of the 27 I counted, only 4 were female, 16 were male, and the 7 kids besides Dracula were unverified either way. Regardless, it's pretty imbalanced distribution there. At a lean runtime of 82 minutes, we wound up with a kill on average every 3.04 minutes. A new kill count record. Happy Halloween! I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Charlie. So many of the other kills were off screen, but here we have the bad Santa kid puking up gallons of blood chocolate. Plus, we see his severed head a little later, cementing his fate as the most graphic of the film. Dull Machete for lamest kill will go to Macy, Chip, and Schrader, who are killed off screen with nothing but some sound effects to show for it. And that's it. Trick or Treat is the perfect film for Halloween. It's short, light, and fun, which is everything a Halloween movie should be, in my opinion. Next month is Alien. I'll be covering the original Alien quadrilogy each Friday in November. Until then, I'm James A. Janice.
This video is like a year old, so never
Thanks a lot for watching my kill count
That's
for
way
Trick or
up.
Treat. I want to thank some of my patrons like Allison Gale, Nick Smolich, and Kellen.
So I can actually go watch it. That's great.
Halloween is probably my favorite.
The Mist is probably a good one, too.
Celebrating it starting in September. That being said, I'm kind of happy it's getting back to normal next month because this has been an insane month for me. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been a blast.
That's impressive.
That's impressive stuff. Oh, wait.
What?
Before we talk.
Oh, I know what you're going for.
Oh. It's just Sam. I think John gave this to me many years ago. I think as a Christmas. Was it a Christmas present or birthday present? It was the first time him and I made love. And John's really sentimental like that.
That's how you celebrate.
That's how you do it.
That wonderful occasion.
I've never actually opened the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never opened the box.
Why?
Because it's a collectible.
Is it?
Can I wear this mask?
I'm pretty sure that's the point of it.
Oh my god, this is the first time I'm opening this box right now.
What's in the fucking box?
Are you serious?
Whoa, I've never opened this box before. Wow. Oh, no, I can't wear it. Nope. Maybe next Halloween, guys.
Hey.
Maybe next Halloween. What'd you think of your first kill count video
That
with
was
Dead Meat
cool.
James?
It was very cool. I mean, I'm impressed too. It's a very well written script, and it's got a lot of funny beats to it. When I have a movie that I've seen so many times over, to hear certain details that I either missed or wasn't aware of, like the idea of Quinn, the kid who plays Sam in the movie, him being the one in the dressing room.
Yeah, I had no idea about that.
I'm surprised because I knew what he looked like.
Yeah.
But for some reason that never clicked for me.
And I actually didn't even know. For some reason, I feel like I've never noticed when Laurie is walking, and he didn't point it out, but Halloween and character named Laurie. I don't know, I've never put that together as a tribute when she's walking and then the girl in the box gets killed at the beginning, bumps into her.
Yeah.
I never noticed that until he pointed it out. I'm like,
I mean,
oh shit.
On rewatches, this is why Trick or Treat is such a great Halloween movie too. This is what I like about what he brings up a lot. It's not just about the cool kill counts. He constantly talked about how this is basically a movie that celebrates the importance of doing certain Halloween traditions. Love the focus on that, but also in rewatching Trick or Treat, yeah, they're separate stories, but they are so precisely well woven together where it's so satisfying when you get back to that first kill in the end.
There is an arc and a completion to the story. It's more than just an anthology, and it's also in terms of its structure, and it's also more than just doing like what Pulp Fiction did in terms of they're cutting around the timeline and everything. By the time you get to the end of this, you're actually wrapping up all the stories. Like there's a completion to all of them that is so cleverly, like this is one of the best structured movies I've ever seen. And John and I, we watched this about a year before it ever came out at a theater. We had no idea we were going to watch.
Did you go to one of the festival premieres?
No, it was like,
that was the thing. It premiered at a festival, I think, in 2007, and then didn't get a regular release until 2009.
We went to one of those screenings that we couldn't get into now because of what we do, but at the time of audience testing.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so we went to one of those, and it was terrifying in the theater. No idea what we were about to watch. I was so on edge the entire time I was watching the film, especially in the whole finale with Brian Cox. That was insanely suspenseful to me. I love how he does these videos because I thought it was just going to be kill count.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're just counting kills and you show the deaths. Yeah, I've seen that before. What he does here is it's so tightly scripted and so tightly edited as well. He's breaking down essentially the whole movie. Like, if anything, if there's a horror movie you don't really care to watch and you want to know about it, you could watch one of his videos if you happen to cover it.
Probably could.
Like, you could do all the Halloween movies he's covered and you can feel like you've seen all of them because his commentary is great. His jokes seem natural. They don't seem like they're trying to be too funny. The editing style to it as well, of cutting back and forth between him. I think his style is just insanely impressive.
It's cool seeing the graphic at the end too. Just the idea of the big picture. I mean, you know, what does it really mean that like less women died in this movie than men? But it's just fun to kind of take a step back and see the big picture results.
Well, I feel like you would like that too because you like to do like your box office breakdowns and
I
stuff.
do.
So when it comes to like the numbers crunching and more specifics,
like data or numbers, you're immediately going to suck me into your video.
And Trick or Treat, the one thing I did have a question about.
Yeah, I wonder if we both had the same question.
About
you wrote something down when something crossed my mind too.
With when he shows the dead kid's head to his son and he's killing the body, he seems like he's trying to keep it a secret from the kid. From his son. Dylan Baker, that's his name.
Yes.
Dylan Baker, he seems like he's trying to keep it a secret, but then he shows
the head.
He shows the head. So I'm like, why was he acting like he was trying to keep a secret? Or was he?
I don't necessarily know
if
he was trying to keep a secret from the kid more so than trying to keep a secret from the neighbor. Because by the kid yelling out the window, it's drawing attention to what he's doing.
That's right. And then Brian Cox is coming over.
Like the kid knows it's a tradition for for Halloween, so it's like they've probably done it before. My question was if that's an additional body, that's an additional kill. Maybe this is just how I'm misreading the scene and have always just had this in mind, but I always thought that was the kid in there, and that when he goes like that, that's him severing the head. I might have just completely misread that, and I've just always had that in my mind since my first viewing.
Especially because James did count when he's turned up the chocolate as a kill.
What James says is that he's got an additional body in the backyard. I always thought that was the kid's body, and by slamming the shovel down, that's the moment where he takes his head off.
Oh.
But maybe I just misread it. Given what this character does the entire movie, odds are he has killed more.
Okay. Oh, so your question was that an additional?
Yeah.
All right, gotcha. I think Trick or Treat is just so underrated. Weirdly, if they had just waited a few more years, it might have gotten a theater release and probably would have done really well because this has become a cult hit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a lot of people in the horror community really love this film because it's not just a good horror movie, it's a good film. Its use of practical effects are so awesome. The design of Sam when they're turning into werewolves, that always makes me like I feel like I've been watching the show Supernatural with John. There's one scene with a what are those called? Shapeshifter.
Oh, okay.
Then when he's shapeshifting, he's tearing off his skin.
Yeah.
Or think like Terminator 2 when he tears off his forearm. Even though I know they're not dying, it's still like insanely disturbing to me. And when they do that here, it's very disturbing to me every single time I watch it. I don't know why. It just always gets under my skin.
This always feels like a movie with maximum production value to me. It's like, I
Yeah.
imagine they didn't have endless money to spend on all these effects and all this
Yeah.
crazy stuff, but it's like what they do with the money they have and also how he shoots it, I think enhances the practical work they have on set even more so.
Absolutely. A lot of times these anthology films, they kind of feel like they go on a little too long.
Yeah.
Or they're like overstaying their welcome.
Well, because then it gets that effect, like, I don't want to throw ABCs of Death under the bus, but I am going to throw ABCs of Death under the bus because it's that effect where you're watching and you're like, oh, I'm only at C.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
Not to say that C isn't good in that movie. I can't even remember what C is, but
This movie,
a lot.
This movie doesn't have that.
No.
All stories are fantastic.
and
here.
it goes back to why they all flow so well into one another too.
Yeah.
It's like you never really have that moment to like pick your head up and like have a breath for air and think to yourself, well, how many more segments are there? Because they all flow so well right into each other.
It's especially surprising for, like, what do you say? The film's like 82 minutes or something?
Yeah,
like that?
it's really short.
It's so short,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel that short.
That-
and it's not,
you know
that's not
what,
a bad
though?
thing.
The runtime of this movie has been a problem in my life often because do you remember when FearNet was around and they used to do the 24-hour marathon? Because it's such a short movie, I could legit sit there and watch this like 3 or 4 times over and not even realize.
Every story feels fully fleshed out, fully realized.
Yeah, and every single one has a very satisfying conclusion too.
Yeah, for me, for the Dylan Baker storyline, I used to do it with my dad all the time. I can't tell you how many kids in school I personally got to decapitate.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah.
I have murdered so many people.
I mean, I was just that boring kid when I was younger, and we used to just carve like regular pumpkins.
See, I would have murdered you.
I don't doubt it.
Matter of fact, maybe when we're done filming, no more Perri Nemiroff at Collider Videos and on our own channel, which you guys should go subscribe to right now.
Wow, what a segue into that. Yes, please go check that out. I feel like I expect this with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we've been talking too many sincere talk here about Trick or Treat. We need to throw in some weird joke right now. All right, guys. Well, Dead Meat James, the guy could really use some help. His channel's dying. Gosh, and he could really use a boost from the Real Rejects. He averages barely any views per video. He's very lazy stuff. He just watches movies and breaks it down. Like, this is real work. Reacting to his work and then talking about it and the film. Literally, just give him a pity subscribe. Go do it right now. He doesn't deserve it, but it might as well. Dude, no, actually, he's a very friendly gentleman. I can't wait to see him 6 months from now, where it's been a year and a half in the game and he's insanely cocky because he's on his path. He's right. He's still in the humble phase. But you'll be in the cocky path soon, buddy. Weird outro. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell. Perri Nemiroff. Go check out her channel. Got some awesome stuff on there. She did a first man review of my brother, Yabi Koei, who is also failing on YouTube. And her box office predictions videos. Those are awesome. Awesome stuff. See you guys.
I feel like every single time I do an outro with you, it's always like, that was a weird one.
Yep.